Welcome back to the Nightlife podcast, season 3, episode 16. And today I have the pleasure of going to the other side of the ocean. No, I did not fly there, but I have a feeling actually when you hear this person's accent that you guys are gonna feel like you're over there too. So without further ado, let me bring her in. Sam, how are you?
Hello, I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Where are you at now, by the way? Sam Woodrow, by the way. I did not do a drum roll. I feel like
nice to meet you.
I feel like I have to do drum rolls when it's people like you, you know?
What is that?
I mean, it's entertainment, so you know, let's start with that.
My voice is entertainment in itself.
Let's start with that. Let's well, first of all, where are you? Where are you right now?
So currently I'm in Spain.
Spain. Which part of Spain?
Andalucia.
Andalucia. Nice.
Yes.
And you are
So
from?
I don't know if you know it. It's near Malaga. I'm just here looking after a house at the moment, but I am originally from the UK.
Right. Yeah. I don't think people were missing that part already.
They weren't missing that, no. I'm based in Watford in the UK, so very ever so slightly just outside of London. I think people from your side of the world think that Watford is London.
Correct.
So let's just say London.
There you go. I'm sure it's probably a small town around the area, and that is something I wanted to know. Is you come from a small town or is there?
No, it's quite a big town.
Okay.
Yep, it's not originally where I grew up, but it's where I am based at the moment and have been for the last sort of 4 or 5 years when I'm not traveling.
Got it. All right, so tell me a little bit about your beginnings. Where did you decide to get into what you do? Which actually tell people what you do, because we haven't said that yet.
So yeah, at the moment, I am a professional dancer, singer, actress, and what we call it over here is multi-skilled performer. And I hate that. I hate the fact that it's called that. It sounds really big-headed, but basically what it means is on top of the singing, dancing, acting, you have other skills such as fire breathing, stilt walking, aerial perhaps, or anything. More than one, basically. Multi-skilled, it's totally in the name. I just don't like it.
So why don't you like the name? What is it about it that you
I just think it sounds pretentious.
True.
I'm multi-skilled, darling. It just
right.
It sounds pretentious, but that's what we call it. There is no other name at the moment for it over here. I don't know if you guys call it something else. Maybe a specialist artist, perhaps.
Yeah, multi-skilled could be taken the wrong way in our industry for sure. So, but you specialize in the industry, in the hospitality industry, and
yeah. So, as well as being an artist myself, I actually have fallen into the role, really, of becoming an entertainment agency.
Correct.
So I now sort of accidentally,
okay,
that's how it started anyway, supply acts for events, weddings, events planners, all sorts of things, parties, clubs, bars.
Okay. So going back a little bit, how did you get started? When did you realize that this was something that you liked?
And the performing element or the agency element?
No, the beginning and the performing part.
Beginning.
Yes.
Wow. We are going back to literally when I was 2.
Okay.
I won't go into crazy detail because that's a long time ago now. But 2 years old, I wanted to dance. Don't know where it came from. I wanted to dance. I knew at that point that that's what I wanted to do. And I trained from that age up until 18, just going to classes.
Okay.
And then decided I'm going to dance academy because I want to do this professionally as a job.
Okay, so did the nightclub part of it also come in as an accident, or was that something that caught your eye?
It did catch my eye, yes, but it wasn't the first thing that caught my eye, I have to say. For some reason, I think when you're younger, cruise ships always sound like a really great thing, but I quickly grew out of that because I realised there are better avenues to go down. Cruise ships would have taken me out of everything for far too long. I'd have been out of the loop. But yes, I moved to London when I was 18, which is when I went to train professionally so that I could do this as a career. And I soon realised that there was a big industry, especially in London, for dancers in nightclubs.
Right.
I just thought it was great. It wasn't all I wanted to do because I never wanted to close any doors, but I was always open to that. And it just so happens it's what I've ended up doing mostly. Got
it. Were you working for another agency at the time, or was it just yourself, doing this? And
to begin with, I was working through a couple of agencies because none of them were sole agencies. So one of which was called Royal Entertainment. Shout out to Royal Entertainment in the UK, who sent me abroad on my first nightclub contract out of the UK. And that was performing in nightclubs every single night, but also up and out performing at the nightclubs event that they have during the day across festivals, on big stages, various artists, and I would dance on the stage with them.
Got it.
So yeah, it began through other agencies, and then I realised I think I can do this without.
Right, without their help.
Yeah.
Without their help or without the artist on stage?
Not quite a pop star, but right. Without the agency's help, I thought I don't really need the middleman.
Correct.
I didn't feel that it was necessary.
How old were you, if I may ask, when you took that small, or big turn into making that decision?
I was 23.
And I asked you for a reason. I mean, there's a lot of people that listen to this show that are in the entertainment side of the industry. A lot of dancers, entertainers in general, a lot of mixed skills, multi-skilled people, and a lot are afraid to maybe taking that chance at some point, or just get stuck with being only that, the performer. And I mean, it's okay if that's what you want to do, and if you don't want to take it any further, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're an artist and all you want to do is perform, I mean, although I know that you still do that part. It's not like you stopped performing. I mean, that is what gives you life, I'm sure, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I still very much perform at the moment, and I still love it, but I am very aware, and I have been very aware even since I was in training, sort of before I did this professionally. I was very aware that this is not a long-lived career.
Right. Looks matter.
You get older, your body starts to deteriorate. Just as you get older, I think after 30, things become more difficult.
Correct.
I'm not over 30 yet, but it just depends on your makeup as a person. But I was just very aware that I won't be doing this forever. I need to put something into place for when I can no longer do it.
Right. So I think that's a good tip for those people listening. I mean, I want to make sure that if you guys are in the entertainment side of it and you understand you're getting closer to that age, or you're far from it, but you want to be doing this for a long time, that age will come when you can no longer do it. And it applies to many other things. But when it comes to entertainment and our industry, hospitality, I mean, you have to, it is, unfortunately for some, looks matter. Then there's also the part of, can your body do this or not anymore? Yeah. And the main reason why you should be considering the possibility of starting your own agency or business around this is because you want to pay the bills. I mean, it's not scalable if you're going to do it yourself. You got to be able to provide, that entertainment, to others. But I think it's a great thing for you to build trust amongst those that work with you. The fact that you still do it, I mean, it's probably going to be a little harder to manage when you're not doing it yourself. I don't know. I'm just thinking here.
What do you mean?
No, just thinking of the fact.
Manage the agency.
Right, when you're managing the agency, but you're not a performer anymore, and I don't know. I just feel like that relationship with those performers is even greater when they see you as one. But it could, if you're building those relationships from now, I guess they would always see you as that performer, you know.
Yeah. I think there'll just be a transition period, and it won't be an immediate 1, 2, 3, and I'm an agent, and I'm not a dancer anymore, and I'm not a performer anymore, bang. And it won't be an instant. It will just be, I'll gradually sort of hang up the dancing shoes until I feel that what I have is good enough to step away from and just be behind the scenes.
Correct. And I don't think that seems like it's coming too soon, is it?
No, I hope not. I'm still a spring chicken in myself. So
there you go.
You know, I'm very happy to do both at the moment.
Got it. All right. So first thing, you know, you fall in love with dancing at 2 years old, which, you know, it's usually the way it starts for most people that actually love it.
It is, isn't it?
Then you get into it, then you see that there's an opening in the industry part and the entertainment and the hospitality clubs and all that, especially in London. And then going, you know, a possibility of going international, working at other, you know, locations. When you decide to open and do your agency thing, when did you decide to take the agency international?
When I went away on my first nightclub contract with another agency, when I got home, it was then really, so probably when still 23, 24, I'd already been away doing it. I thought, what has this person sort of got that I haven't?
Right.
Not in a nasty way, and just in general.
Right, but it is a way of seeing things. You have to. I believe you have to.
I just thought this agency, yeah, great. She got me this job, but I think I've got this as well. If she can do it, I can do it. And
by that time, you already had your agency, or this is before you?
No, this is just when I'm starting. This is how it happened. So I came back from that contract, and I immediately started getting in touch with local venues, bars, events managers, like I've said before. And I just said, look, this is what I do, and this was just for me at this point. This is what I do. I want to perform at your venue, at your event. Are you interested in anything like this? Very similar to what I did with you. And I got some bites, and then this one venue called me in for an interview just to talk about what I could offer, and they literally sat me down and said, right, so this is what we want. We want a freak show, basically. We want circus. We want aerialists. We want fire breathers. We want dancers. What can you do? We want someone walking around in a big inflatable Pikachu, things like that. Right. And I was like, okay. And I just had my notebook, and I was very calm. If you can ever class me as calm, because I'm quite elaborate.
Right.
I was writing it all down, and then I said, yep, absolutely, I can do that for you. I do apologise.
It's all right. It's probably Pikachu.
Wrote it all down. I said, I can do that for you, no problem. I'll get back to you with prices and everything once I've totted it all up. And I walked away. And I walked down the street, and in my head was going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I've just said that I can do all of these things, and I'm sure I can.
But at the time, you had not done any of them.
I hadn't, no, never.
Right.
But I'm very just, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And then I figure out how to do it. And that's when it started.
There you go. It's been how long since that moment?
3 years.
Got it. By the way, I'm not trying to add up your age here. I'm just trying to do the math for the other part. So what is one of the hardest things when it comes to hiring entertainers?
What's one of the hardest things?
Yes. What would you say that it's, what makes this complicated for you? Because I understand, like, if you're the one performing, it's all on you. You know what I mean? But when it comes to it is your name, Sam Woodrow International, for those of you guys that want to go find, where she's at. But
find me, guys, social media.
Definitely. When you hire somebody to do, for example, when they told you all those things and you had to get somebody who does the fire, and maybe you didn't do it at the time, and somebody has to go be that Pikachu at that crazy show or whatever, or the burlesque, or how do you make those decisions? First of all, like, how do you pick the right ones? And second of all, how complicated is it to, because you have to, I don't know, it's your name in the end. Doesn't matter who's the one performing.
No, it will always fall back on me.
Correct.
As the agent, as the person that said that they could provide all of these things.
Right.
So, because I had been in the industry professionally since 2013 or 2012, whenever it was, when I graduated, I had a huge contact list on my social media, so on my Facebook, and they were all majority performers, singers, dancers, actors. I had all of those people there. So what I thought I would do to begin with is just put a casting call out on my Facebook to see if I had anybody that could do all of these things.
Right.
And within 10 minutes, I had people applying to this job that I needed filling, and I was so excited. I was like, brilliant. Oh my gosh, I know this person, I know that person, don't know this person. But then I had people I did know recommending other people, and it all just came flooding in, and I thought, oh, this is exciting. So ever since then, I've pretty much ran my business from Facebook.
Got it.
I now have a huge database of people, and I have people that I have. Sorry. So
it's really more of a community of entertainers that you have there.
I have a community of entertainers, but then I also have my database, which is a solid database where I have my go-to that I choose, and I have all of their details, and it's on a thing called it's on a software called Gigio.
Got it.
So shout out to Gigio as well, if anybody out there wants to use that for either finding jobs or getting databases together, because actually took me a long time to find something that
could help you.
Really helped.
Right.
Sorry? Yeah, and it's really, really helpful. Now I have a list of artists, a list of names, a list of what they do, and all of their details, and I just contract them, and it's all legit, it's all legal.
Awesome.
And so I have my main base of people, but then if I ever get a request for something that I don't have, and I'm looking through my list and I'm like, I don't have that, I'll always refer back to Facebook to find them.
What would be one of the craziest things that you have been asked to find that maybe took you back and you almost said no?
Do you know what?
It hasn't happened?
Not really. What I find, and I want to know your opinion on this as well, because you are in the nightlife industry. What I really find is that with nightclub owners and events managers and whoever it is booking, they don't ever know what they want.
True.
It's really rare that they come to me and they know what they want.
So I'm going to tell you where that comes from.
Okay.
That comes from a lot of the people that are in the industry are not creative.
Right.
But they are given the task, or they give themselves the task when they're an owner, to be the creative. So first thing, start with, okay, we have to start a new Thursday night party. Okay, let's do it. What are we going to call it? They start looking for names of parties on Google, and this thing comes out from the UK, and it's a burlesque show or whatever, and they come up with that name, and they go, let's do a burlesque thing. We have no idea what a burlesque even means, right? And then we go on to, okay, so let's do a burlesque. And then they start seeing, it's like, oh, that looks like can dancers, or, oh my God, no, it's not. Is it, are they naked? Is it a strip club? No, it's not. It's, okay, so they start trying to figure out to understand what the concept is without, and already doing a party without understanding what it is. So they look for performers and think that the performers, entertainers, or the agency that has them is going to provide them with ideas that are going to generate new concepts and new parties and that kind of thing. That's where the circus thing comes from. I mean, And you did mention that London, it is good when it comes to all those like theme parties and whatnot. It's crazy the kink that goes on over there it's copied in many other places. And that's the thing, that over here people are a little more close-minded, I guess. Less
really?
Definitely less open-minded than over there. Although many want to be European, but over here it's just different. And maybe also we have a lot of issues with disrespect at some points when it comes to entertainers that are. That's
an issue here as well.
Yeah.
But there's always,
of course,
when I contract for example, a nightclub owner or whoever it is that's booking through me, I have to make sure that there is security firmly in place.
Correct.
For any performer I have. Touching, anything like that is just unacceptable.
Right. Definitely.
But sometimes it's difficult to avoid, which is a shame.
Right. I mean, you have, body paint, you have, it's half naked or naked completely, whatever it may be that you guys end up, doing. It is complicated when there's alcohol involved. And some may think that the reason that you, the performer, is looking into their eyes, it's not because you're performing. And they actually believe that it's because of them.
I know. They take it personally. They shouldn't.
Exactly.
Or you out there who take it personally, don't. It's a show.
It's many years of acting lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So what are the things the services, let's say, that Sam Woodrow International offers nowadays?
So Sam Woodrow International these days, we've been doing majority cabarets and actual productions, so putting on shows, as opposed to just having the one-off performer booked, which I still absolutely do. It's just recently, we've had a few shows get put together. So there was one called the Bodega Burlesque, which is a cabaret featuring many different artists. It's essentially a variety show.
Got it.
But burlesque is sort of a very classy and tasteful striptease.
There you go.
So we've been doing a few of those shows recently, but within that you also have singers, you have can dancers, you have all sorts of wild and wacky things going on. You have fire. So it's very much a variety show, but with a very 1920s old school feel. So I've been doing a lot of those at the moment. And another thing I'm doing is big festivals, like sort of big events in big nightclubs. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Electric Brixton. Right. So I produced and was the creative director for a huge production there called Rave of Thrones. So Rave of Thrones is a rave which has been taken from Game of Thrones. Yes. And Hodor, the character Hodor, right, Christian then in real life as a DJ. So it's his event.
Oh, nice.
So it's huge, and it was put on at the Electric Brixton, and I supplied all of the entertainment apart from the DJs for that particular night. So we had
do you have him next to a big door and he's trying to hold the door? No, is that part of the show?
Oh God, no. But I tell you now, he is one of the hugest, and I mean biggest
as
people
I've
ever met in my entire life. They had to put steps. What did they? Yeah, no, they had to raise the DJ box or booth or whatever it is you guys want to call it,
right,
higher, so that he could
reach.
He was so tall.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a huge event. So for that, we supplied fire performers, we supplied combat fighters. So we had fighting on stage choreographed. We had a giant dragon, an animatronic dragon, and we had a Khaleesi, and it was just a night of absolute madness. So that's probably one of the biggest shows that I've produced.
Nice.
Recently.
Let me ask you a question. So if a club comes to you and they say the opposite of, I have no idea what to do, and you tell me what it is that I want, and they bring a crazy idea. Is that something that you guys do too? Like bring it to life? Something that
yes, that's exactly what we do. That's what we did with the Rave of Thrones, actually. That is one client who did very much know what they wanted. They knew they wanted a dragon, and they knew they wanted all of these crazy things. So I went out and found it all.
You found a dragon. That sounds kind of crazy. I found
a few dragons. I found a few dragons. Oh yeah, it was crazy. This was the winning dragon. Yeah, so that's essentially what I do. If they come to me and say, I want this, I will bring it, whatever it is, I'll bring it to life. I'll go out and find it. I start immediately. And I don't just find one of it. I find as much of it as I possibly can, and then I do a screening process myself before I present. So I'm not just going to present everything
right
to the client, the club owner, whatever you'd like to call
right. So them. You screen it through first, make sure that whatever doesn't apply. So you take out. I choose
my personal favourites, and then the client, whoever that might be, has to. They're booking through me at the end of the day, so I assume they are trusting me to be able to choose who I think is the best act for the job.
Right, so you'd be doing a casting director, part there.
Absolutely. I cast, but I maybe sometimes a lot of the time when the client will book just sort of 2 fire acts, for example, I will just send 2.
Is that a real dog or is that an act?
That is a real dog, not an animatronic dog. This is,
so Sam has 3 doggies running around. Actually, 4, 3.
Sorry, right? I've got 3 dogs. Let me just go and let her out the door. One
Go right ahead.
She's come back in now. Where was I?
So you were trying to find a dog. No, just kidding. So you're talking about the fact that you do the screening, you do the casting, you make sure that you get the right people, you don't send to the club the wrong ones, and all that kind of stuff.
I will do. If somebody books 2 fire performers through me and they tell me that they want 2 females and they want them to be glamorous, I will just send 2. Because that's enough information for me. I will just send them. I don't feel the need to send the client loads of pictures of loads of girls.
Right.
Unless they want to see them, and then of course I'll do that.
Right, but for example, you do that whole part so that the club doesn't have to go through that whole casting process. Exactly.
Sometimes on the odd occasion, the client or the club
will say, "I want to see 100 girls."
That. Yeah. So then I'll say, "Okay, great. Here's 100 girls." Right. So with the Rave of Thrones, I found all of these dragons that I thought would be appropriate. I did the screening process, and then I sent the client my top 3, and they chose. And that was how it worked then. But it's always very different depending on who you deal with.
Right. So let me ask you another question, because it is something that I guess it doesn't. Well, it concerns me a little bit due to the fact that I do want to talk to you about actual work over here in the U.S. For a big production that we're planning. But before we get into that, which we'll not we will do after the show, but the idea, I mean, the concern is, how do you control expenses when you're doing this internationally, when you're trying, because I mean, let's say a client comes to you from the US, let's say, and they say, I am looking to do a production that does this and that. I want Khaleesi on a dragon and Odor holding being the doorman that day, whatever it may be that they decide that they want to do crazy stuff, whatever. And you create that whole concept, that whole, find the dragon, find all this stuff. Then you give them the price and they go, it's outside of my budget. It's, how am I going to fly Odor to the US and all those things that come into play. The performers have to make money. The agency has to make money. So there are middle people, all that kind of stuff. And then they say, you know what? I already heard her ideas. Let me try to figure out how to get those people myself. I'm sure it's happened. So
yeah, definitely it does. It's one of the hardest things, trying to keep certain aspects of this job under wraps so that you don't have people stealing from you. Correct. Essentially.
It is. It is. I mean, the thing is that some people don't see it as if they were doing that. I mean, I 100% agree with you. It is stealing. it's grabbing your brain and taking everything out of there, whatever. But and the reason that people think it's expensive is because you do it in a day or two, maybe, whatever it may be, that you take the time that you take to do something or to put something together. But what they don't understand is that it took you all those years going through that Facebook, group and creating that community and building that business and dancing all those years and actually building that, brand behind you and the trust and all that kind of stuff, so that you can actually put all those things together. And for you performing to understand what works and what doesn't work. So that's one of the biggest
things. Not just anybody will be able to correctly advise the club as to what is going to look good,
right,
and pull it off,
right?
If you see what I mean.
Yes.
Anyone can go and find some people to go and do some skills for somebody, but to actually make it into more of a production, to give it more of a wow factor, there are steps that needs to be taken to be able to present something beautifully.
Correct.
It doesn't just happen. Yeah.
So back to the original question. How do you control cost? And I don't want to, kind of take away from what your business is in general, but what is, like the main thing that you have to do in order to be able to control that part, that it doesn't get too crazy or whatever. I'm just trying to figure this out for those people that are planning on building their agencies and getting out of becoming just a performer, maybe having 10, 15, 20 more years of business their way,
Yeah. So controlling costs, especially overseas, when sending people overseas or when obtaining nightclubs or venues overseas, it's always an idea to reach out to talent in those locations.
Correct.
I have a lot of talent actually that are based in the US.
Got it.
But the US is a big place, so that's not always going to be that beneficial, just depending on where they are exactly.
I got it. So it's kind of the same thing when it comes to my business. I get a lot of calls from people that want help in the marketing aspect of their business or promoting a specific night in other clubs in different cities, different countries. And a lot of other people don't understand how we get to do that if we're not even there. We don't have clientele over there or a following, etc. But the first step that I take is that I find locals that do this part, the promotion, and I do my homework on the venue and all that kind of stuff. So if you're gonna do something at another place, make sure you go with the local people. Hopefully they will be as good as the ones that you have over there. There's something about the performances that you have in the UK and international in your company that it's just a little different from here. I think it's just you guys think outside the box a little more. In the US, it's a bit stuck in the whole dancing, drummer, trumpet, kind of saxophone before that kind of thing. Yes, you have a few fire performers, I'm not saying that there's no performers. It's just in the nightlife industry, it's not a huge thing. It's not a huge thing, even though it should be. I believe. One of the reasons that the actual nightclubs are slowing down because there's a certain growth here in venues that are more like a restaurant that become a party afterwards and that kind of thing. Brunches are huge over here now also. So people are partying during the day. But the actual nightclubs, the ones that are only, you come in at midnight or 1 a.m., get a table, leave at 4:35 in the morning, that kind of energy has been going down.
They need something crazy to come in and bring it back up.
Exactly. They need a reason. And people usually go for okay, I'll get an artist and I'll bring a performance from that artist, a famous person, whatever. In the end, you end up working for them because they end up costing as much as you make. So it's not really a good thing. It's more for the name than a business per se. So I do believe that people in the industry need to focus on their entertainment a lot more. Actually,
I do.
Actually, my book, in my book, chapter 8 of the book is it's all about the show. That's what it's called, and it is what it is. And the show, meaning not just what you have on stage, not just the DJ. No, it's the whole show, from the moment people arrive to the last thing they see when they leave.
They should walk in and see something completely out of the ordinary, as their first sight.
Right.
We have clubs in London, in particular, even in Manchester, England, and in Brighton, where it's just completely immersive the entire time you're there, and you don't even notice really who the DJ is. You don't notice these big names and things like that, because you're not going there for that. You're going for the entire immersive experience, where throughout the entire evening there's something weird happening everywhere you look, and it's just amazing. Something glamorous, or something like wacky, whatever it is the nightclub particularly wants to portray.
People will remember that more than anything else. That is what it is. All right, so we told people a little bit, we gave some tips to the people in the industry that hire performers, like don't steal ideas, and definitely go all out, do a little better production on all that kind of thing. What is the one thing that you would tell, before we go, to all those performers that are out there, that are doing this, that they're entertaining, and they want to grow, and they might be, maybe, let's say they're 26, 27, they're getting scared of what's coming around the corner, and what's next, and what they can do to make it better?
I think if you're getting a little bit nervous as to what the next thing is that you're going to be doing, learn something from either this podcast, for example, or something completely different, or if you really want to stay within your industry, learn something that isn't age limited, something like a new act, maybe magic, maybe an instrument, or teaching was never something I wanted to do. That's why I've gone down the agency avenue. Teaching wasn't for me, but there are many other avenues within this industry that you can go down, and you should, and I urge you to start looking into it now. Yeah. So you're not, when you hit that point, you're not lost.
Right. You know what? You touched on a big point there, and I'm gonna definitely leave with that. I never thought I would be ever in my life, in a million years, teaching anything whatsoever. Nevertheless, thought of the possibility of being able to teach so many online around the world. And even less, I thought of the fact that teaching what I love and what I've been doing my whole life was a possibility. The fact that I'm able to do that right now, it just fills me up. It doesn't. It's not really about the money. It's even greater than that. And honestly, that is one of those true, realizations that when you are doing what you love, the money just comes. It is what it is. Yeah. It works out. So definitely, guys, it'll work out. You figure it out. If you're not about teaching, you don't have to, but it's something you could do. Definitely learning something new. There's always so many things you can learn, and thinking of something that's long-term for sure. I know you did not mention that one thing, which is going the agency way, because you don't want competition, but that's another way out.
It is another way out.
And as a matter of fact, one thing that I believe is possible too. Let's say somebody's in the US and they want to grow, but they don't know how to start. Maybe they put some people together and they get a hold of someone like you and say, you know what, can I help you out here in the US, getting some bookings and getting all this stuff going on and whatever. That is also a way to go. The more the merrier. People, if joining forces is definitely always a good idea. Right?
Yeah, talk to people, meet people, learn from other people. When I say I wasn't into teaching, I really did just mean I'm not into teaching my skill set, like dancing and things like that. I've never been interested, but I love teaching from experience. I love teaching by speaking to people and just giving advice.
And honestly, it is that's really the main thing they need. The you know, where they're gonna take the most from is that part, teaching that the experience and the good and the bad, letting them know about the mistakes and what they gotta stay away from and all that kind of stuff. Sam, thank you so much. Where can people find you? Make sure that we give them all that.
You can find me on Instagram, is where you'll see most of my content. So that would be at Sam Woodrow INT. So obviously short for international, at Sam Woodrow INT, or Facebook, just Sam Woodrow International in full.
All right, there you go. Guys, one more time, I want to thank all of you for being here today. Please do not forget to get my book. I don't have it with me today. I have no idea where I left that last copy I had on me. But yes, get the book on Amazon. Make sure, if you guys are all about learning, and please allow me to teach you. I'm going to leave all those links under here. But let me help you out, and I hope you guys have a great week. Sam, thank you again, and I will see you guys next week on the next episode. Hey, bye. Bye-bye.